Welcome back to the Mike and Andrew Show. I'm Andrew Serwick here with Mike Meredith. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear, man. Got This is gonna be a kind of a quicker show today. We don't have a whole lot, obviously. No, not a lot of college football games, just one, and we'll talk about that shortly. This is gonna be a quicker episode, but let's get right into it, anyways. The NFL starting tonight. That actually game just kicked off about a couple minutes ago now. We have the Steelers and the Patriots facing off. And you got the Steelers. They're favored by a nice 5 points here. They're coming off a pretty bad loss. That said, New England terrible. I think Mac Jones is obviously gone after this year. Bill Belichick's probably gone after this year as well, man. I think if you're Mac Jones, you want out as well. Everyone in that town hates you, so it's just a matter of time, anyways. Steelers have a better team overall. They can they have the opportunity to win this game. Granted, they have lost to some bad teams, but I just think the Patriots are one of the worst teams that they'll play this year. So I gotta go with the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers too. I mean, it's crazy though. Looking at the reports for the over/under of this game, it's the lowest over/under total set in like 30 years of the NFL. Like these two teams are awful. The Steelers and the Patriots both cannot put up at all any points. I'm gonna roll with the Steelers though. The Patriots have been holding teams to like no points, but they can't win any games. So I'm definitely rolling with the Steelers here.
Yeah, the Patriots defense has actually been pretty good as of late. It's just they cannot score any points. Mac Jones obviously is terrible, but he also has no one to throw to, which is a big problem as well. So Sunday, the Bears will be hosting the Lions. Detroit's a 3.5 point favorite in this game. I highlighted this on Tuesday. Jared Goff outside, it's a thing, and it's a bad thing. He's very inaccurate when he's outside. He doesn't play very well. He's very good indoors, but you get him outside and he's not so good. The weather's going to be crap. I believe there's supposed to be snow, so I think there's going to be a lot of running in this game on both sides. Detroit, super banged up team, especially defensively. Aline McNeil is out for the next 4 weeks, and he's a huge help on the run defense. I think this is going to be a really close game. It's going to be very low scoring. I'm going to take the Lions here. I don't think they get to that 3.5, though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough. Chicago is gonna be out for revenge after that game last time we played each other. It was a battle. Detroit had to come back on that one, and Chicago here with Justin Fields definitely going to be tough. But I think the Lions are going to win this one. I agree. I think it's going to be like really close again, which shouldn't be. They should blow out the Bears by a lot more, but I feel like the Bears have gotten better since we've last faced them, and then they had their bye week, so they're kind of fresh. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Chicago's obviously coming off a bye week. They're very well rested now. Lions, like I said, they are banged up on both sides of the ball. No Frank Ragnow, which hurts the run game up the middle. It's going to be tough for Detroit. I think they have a chance still, but man, I would not be shocked to see Chicago actually win this game. Just because the Lions are so beat up and the weather outside is going to be terrible. But yeah. The Falcons will be hosting the Buccaneers. Atlanta, a 2.5 point favorite in this game. Unironically, the Falcons are on top of their division somehow. And the Bucks just keep finding ways to lose games. I'm gonna roll with the Falcons here. I think they have a slightly better team. I know defensively they have a much better team. Offensively, not so much. I think you have to lean towards the Bucks on in terms of offense, but both these teams' offensive struggling. Atlanta obviously struggling all year to put up points. Tampa Bay currently hasn't been able to score a whole lot, and like I said, just finding ways to lose games. It is going to be close. I think it will be kind of low scoring game, but I am going to take the Falcons here.
Yeah, it's going to be a real low scoring affair. I don't really trust either of these teams, but for some reason, I feel like Tampa's going to be the better of these two teams this week. I feel like Tampa, even though they both are struggling right now, um, Atlanta's got the division lead, and Tampa is going to spoil that a little bit and come up with the big upset win here. I'm going to go with Tampa.
You know what happens if Tampa wins this game?
Hmm.
Every single team in that division will have a losing record. Every single team will have a
Yeah.
losing record because right now Atlanta's 6-6. Everyone else is either 5-7 or you're the Panthers and you're trash. So yeah, if Tampa wins this game, you're gonna see a division with everyone under 500 uh, records. That's insane, and I have a feeling we're gonna see again, another sub 500 team, be that win that division. Uh, the
Yeah.
the Bengals host the Colts. The Bengals are a 1.5 point favorite over Indianapolis. Excuse me. Um, I think look the Bengals don't have really anything offensively now. Um, Defensively, they've been on and off defensively, but Indianapolis, man, they have been really really good. Really all year, they've been a pretty damn good team. So I'm gonna roll with the Colts here. I think if Gardner Minshew has a game like he did last week, they can win a lot of their what's left on their schedule. I think they could get another 2 or 3 wins. I think Cincinnati could be one of those. So I'm gonna roll with the Colts here. I just don't see how Cincinnati can really rally, especially because Indianapolis's defense is really really good.
Yeah, this is going to be another tough test for the Bengals. They won last week, but honestly, Trevor Lawrence doesn't go out. Do they take that game to OT? I'm not sure. And Jake Bryan definitely had a great game. I mean, he stepped it up for sure last week. But the Colts just are finding ways to win. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think it's going to be too flashy. I think the Colts pull off a tight win here.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is gonna be a blowout by Indianapolis by any means. I just think Colts are gonna come in, probably win it out by a field goal, maybe a touchdown at the very most. But yeah, the Browns will be hosting the Jaguars. The Browns a 3 point favorite in this game. Um, Joe Flacco, he's going to be starting for the Browns, obviously. Jacksonville, no Trevor Lawrence now. Who do they have as quarterback now? Um,
Mm,
that's an interesting question. Let's see, who is at their quarterback position now? Um, Looks like C.J. Beathard. Don't know who the fuck that is.
who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Who the fuck is that guy? Because yeah, no, look, Jacksonville, it's their division to lose now. It really is. They don't have Trevor Lawrence. It sucks. I think they can pull off the win here. I don't think Joe Flacco can put up another performance like that. I think that was just one of those, out of nowhere, you have a really good game. Kind of like Josh Dobbs with his first game in Minnesota. Really blew up and then kind of was shit after that. So I think I'm going to roll with the Jags here. This is going to be a really close game, I think. I think they have a chance. Their run game is going to have to really carry them, though, in this game because, obviously, you don't have Trevor Lawrence. So the defense is going to have to really step up, and the running offense has to really step up.
This game, man, I don't trust either of these teams with the Flacco was like a third string quarterback And then, yeah, whoever that guy is on the Jaguars, I mean, he's got no reps this year for sure. And I think I'm going to have to go with the Browns just because I think their defense is going to stand tall compared to Jacksonville in this one. I mean, I could easily see Jacksonville winning this, but I'm going to go with the Browns just because the Browns have proven to me this year that they can win, even when their offense has been non-existent.
Yeah, look, I think if you're Jacksonville, if you're Travis Etienne, you have to step up and you have to go. But so CJ Beathard,
Who the fuck is that guy?
he's thrown 14 balls this year for a total of 77 yards. So yeah, he's 12 for 14 though. He's got an 85% completion percentage though. So that's not terrible. But yeah, no, look, it's going to be a close game. I do think the Browns defense, as you know, half-assed as they've been from the start of the season as of late, they could keep them at least in it. The Jets will be hosting the Texans. Houston, a 3.5-point favorite in this game. I think Houston's going to blow the doors off the Jets. I mean, the Jets defense still really, really good, but no offense. Zach Wilson's going to be starting again. Tim Boyle obviously was not the answer. But CJ Stroud is the best rookie quarterback that I've seen in a very long time. I think he's really breaking that OSU curse, at least for himself. Maybe not the next few OSU quarterbacks, but we'll see when we get there. However, but yeah, I'm gonna take Houston in this game. Like I said, CJ Stroud's been really good. Nico Collins has been, right there with him all year long. I gotta go with the Texans here. Another defense can, do enough as well, especially against the Jets' offense. That's just terrible. It's just, I think this offense matches up pretty well with this defense. So I think there's gonna be a pretty nice blowout for Houston.
Yeah, I like Houston, man. I think that they could jump into that division lead here pretty soon over Jacksonville, and they win this week and Jacksonville loses. That would be big for them.
Yeah, it would be big for them. They'd take the division, or at least be tied for the division lead. Both teams would be 8-5 if Houston won and Jacksonville lost. So, looking good so far for the Texans, though. The Ravens will be hosting the Rams. Baltimore, a 7.5-point favorite in this game. This is going to be a blowout. It's Baltimore at home. They're one of the best teams in football right now. LA's defense is terrible. Their offense at times can be really good, sometimes not. That said, Baltimore's defense is also really good. And like I said, they're one of, if not the best team in football right now. And they blow everyone out at home, good teams and bad teams. And LA's kind of a mid team, so they're going to get blown out bad here by Baltimore.
Yeah, this is Baltimore thrives in this type of game. I feel like I'm definitely going to go with Baltimore here.
Yeah, just insane. Just how good the Ravens are. The Saints will be hosting the Panthers. New Orleans, a 4.5-point favorite over the Panthers. Both these teams are under 500. Saints are 5-7. Panthers are 1-11. Saints win this game, and Atlanta loses, and Tampa wins. We'll have a three-way tie for the lead in this division. Actually, now that I realize that. All three teams will be 6-7, and then the Panthers would be 1-12. But look, the Saints have been a lot better than I expected them this year. And the Panthers, like I said, they have the Keebler Elf as quarterback. I gotta roll with the Saints here. They have a much better team. They actually have weapons offensively outside of the quarterback position. Their defense not that great, but neither's Carolina's. So I have to roll with the Saints in this one. They're just a much better team overall.
Yeah, honestly, the Saints, even though they've struggled at points this year, they're very inconsistent. They are just so much better than Carolina. Carolina is probably going to finish 1-16. I was going to say 1-15 because that's the year they got number one pick and got Cam Newton, but I forgot there's an extra game added now, so it's probably going to be like 1-16. They're just awful.
Absolutely awful, man. One of the worst teams I've seen in a very long time. The Raiders will be hosting the Vikings. Minnesota, a 3-point favorite in this game over Vegas. Look, the Raiders are so ass. They have no quarterback. They have no offensive weapons. The only weapon of any sort the Raiders have is Max Crosby. The Vikings are not a good team, but I have to go here with Minnesota. They have a better team. They at least have some competence at the quarterback position. Justin Jefferson's back, so that helps a ton offensively. So yeah, I got to go with Vikings here.
Yeah, I wish that I could go against the Vikings here, but I definitely trust them a lot more than the Raiders. The Raiders are just a dumpster fire. The Vikings, while they've choked recently some games, which has been nice to see, they should win this one.
Yeah, they should definitely win this game, no problem. The Niners host the Seahawks. San Francisco, a 10.5-point favorite in this game. Look, the Niners have been playing extremely, extremely well the last few weeks, really since the trade deadline. They've been incredible. The addition of Chase Young on the defense has been mind-blowingly great for them. They're getting a lot more pressures now on every single quarterback, so that's obviously a really good thing for them. The Seahawks on the other end, man, I mean, the offense has been good at times. The defense has let them down a ton. But I got to roll with the Niners here. I think this is going to be a closer game than that 10.5. But that said, I just feel like the Niners will win this by probably a touchdown.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that the Niners, man, they are the best team in football right now, and I do think Seattle though is no slouch, and to be favored by 10 points, that's crazy. But I think it's warranted with how the 49ers have been playing recently. They've been dominating teams, but we'll have to see how they fare. It's going to be a big one for the division because I think the 49ers pretty much have this division wrapped up, but Seattle, man, they're still fighting for a wild card spot, and they haven't been playing that great recently, so another loss really hurts their chances.
Yeah, that's the thing is they are still fighting for a wild card spot, and they have a chance. But man, a loss here would be devastating. But I just don't see them beating the Niners. The Chiefs hosting the Bills. Kansas City, a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Look, both these offenses have not been good this year, especially Kansas City in particular, just not being able to catch a cold, let alone a football. The Chiefs' defense has been really good. The Bills, yeah, they've been kind of hit and miss every week on both sides of the ball. It's just like, 1 week you'll have the defense really good and the offense be shit. Then the next week you'll have the complete opposite where the offense is really good and the defense is shit. So it's just it's just very confusing what Buffalo's been doing really all year. I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs here. I think this is gonna be a really close game. Kansas City could probably cover that 1.5 here. It probably comes down to a last-second field goal, if anything. But yeah, I just see I don't see how Buffalo's gonna win this game, let alone make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough one, man, for sure. I gotta go. I gotta go with you here on this one as well.
The The Chargers host the Broncos. The Chargers are actually a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Look,
No.
yeah, that's Broncos country. Let's ride. Look, at the end of the day, the Broncos have been playing really, really good until they lost last week, where they played like shit. I feel like they could bounce back from that. The Chargers, Brandon Staley's a moron, so yeah, I got to go with the Broncos here.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos have been really good, even though they've lost. They're still good, and the Chargers won 6-0. It's like they still suck.
Yeah, they're just just terrible. The Cowboys host the Eagles. Dallas, a 3.5-point favorite as of right now. That's Sunday Night Football. Big game. I think Dallas is going to win this game. I really do. I think that loss last week broke the Eagles, and it's going to continue this week, and we'll have a three-way tie for first place in the NFC between the Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Eagles. Oh, and the Cowboys, so a four-way tie.
Man, I want. I don't know. I really don't like either of these fan bases. They're both pretty toxic.
Oh, both these fan bases need to get launched to the fucking moon, dude. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah, Dallas and Philly fans are the worst of like anyone, man. So I don't know, man. I mean, do I trust Dallas, man? I never thought I'd be saying that recently because they always choke the big games, man. They choked the big one earlier against the 49ers.
They choked against the Eagles earlier this year.
Yeah, I think I still got to roll with Philadelphia. Sadly, I think if Dallas wins this one though, if they legit win this game, they're gonna be for sure taken serious the rest of the season and as like real legit threats to win the Super Bowl if they win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, if they win against Philadelphia, and they very well could. I mean, their offense has been really good. Their defense has been really good all year. It's just a matter of containing hurt Jalen Hurts. And they played Jalen Hurts while he was healthy. So, if Dallas can just keep themselves in this game, man, and not find a way to lose, we'll have a four-way tie in the NFC. That'd be insane this late into the season. Monday night, this is our toilet bowl of the week here. We have the Giants hosting the Packers. Actually, we have two Monday night games. So, but yeah, first one, Giants will be hosting the Packers. Green Bay, a 6.5-point favorite in this game. The Packers have been playing really well as of late. Obviously, we know the Giants are fucking dog shit. So yeah, I have to roll with the Packers here. Jordan Love has continued to improve, and the Giants just, yeah, they're the Giants. There's nothing more to say about them. I think the Packers win, and they probably cover that 6.5.
Yeah, they probably do. I mean, Giants team's in shambles. Packers are playing well. I think this will be a nice, easy win for the Packers.
Yeah, nice, easy win. Just like the other Monday night game for the home team, where Miami is hosting the Titans. Miami, a 13-point favorite in this game. Look, it's Miami at home. They're the best home team in the league. Tennessee's dog shit. Tyreek Hill's the best player in football. Tua loves throwing the ball to him. It's going to be a nice blowout. I don't know if they could get to that 70 again like they did against Denver, but yeah, man, gotta roll Dolphins here, and they probably cover as well, that 13.
Yeah, man, let's see them get to 70 again. Nah, I don't think they'll get that far, but they should put up a good amount of points against this Titans team. I mean, other than up front, I mean, I think the Titans have a solid front seven, but once you get to that secondary, it falls apart. So
yeah, Tyreek's gonna smoke everyone on that Yeah,
Yeah.
that their secondary's so bad. The front seven can get pressure, but man, that secondary's so bad. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's gonna wrap up your NFL games for this week. So Mike, I got a little treat for you and well the everyone that listens. So we're gonna do something. We're coming towards the end of the NFL season, and we're gonna take a look at a few teams, few coaches who may or may not get fired, and you're gonna tell me, you know, I'm gonna list out a coach to you. You're gonna tell me if they're gonna be, you know, gone after this year, possibly gone, or you think they're gonna be safe. So we're gonna go through here. I got 7 coaches here. So let's get into it. First one I have is Matt Eberflus in Chicago. Look, things just have not been going his way so far, and I don't know, man. Just can he? Does he have another chance next year, or do you think he's gone after this year?
Man, so this one's tough. I feel like it's like I'm giving it like a 50-50 chance. I know a lot of people are like, Chicago fans have probably wanted him gone since he first got there. I mean, he's not really doing anything, but then again, his team really hasn't been giving him much help, with the talent that they have. But, if Jim Harbaugh becomes available and he's interested in Chicago, he played in Chicago, then, Eberflus is for sure gone. But if not, I could see them maybe giving him one more year, especially with them getting 2 picks in the top 5 potentially, giving him some extra talent to work with. Maybe they turn something around. But yeah, I think he's on the hot seat, but again, I think it's like 50-50 that he gets fired.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think, he has a chance, obviously, to get fired. But they might give him one more year, especially with having 2 high first-round picks this year. Maybe he can turn something around next year. But that's also going to have to depend on what the GM does for Chicago. So there's a lot to consider. Second coach here, Bill Belichick, New England. Is he gone next year? I think he is.
This is so tough, man, because, I mean, he's one of those coaches, it's like Greg Popovich in the NBA. It's like, even though the Spurs suck right now, it's like, there's no chance they fire Popovich, and it's kind of the same for New England right now. It's like, is there any chance that Belichick gets fired? I don't know, man. This is tough because, I mean, the Patriots are bad, but I don't know, man. I don't see Belichick getting fired, but I could see him outright just leaving, like just saying, like, screw this team and like I'm retiring.
I think they're not gonna. I think they're gonna just let him walk after this year. I think if they really wanted to, I think they would have fired him this year. Well, if they could have, they would have already fired him. But he's just so. Look, he's gonna be 72 by the time next season starts, man. I just don't know how much more he's got left. I think if they just fire him, it's just gonna be the end of his career, anyways. I mean, he's so old. I think he is gone after this year. He's not doing anything, spectacular coaching wise. So I just have to say, like, I think he's gone, man. I really do. Next on the list, we have Brandon Staley of the Chargers. I think he's gonna. I think for sure he's gone after this year.
I mean, Brandon Staley should be like fucking thrown in prison for robbing the Chargers of good football these last few years. Man, he has just been awful. Like, ever since he first started there, he's been trash, and I don't know how he's still stuck along this long. Like I said, they should have fired him 2 years ago when he choked that game against the Raiders to get into the playoffs, and then they let him stay. They get to the playoffs this last year, and they blow a 27-point lead against the Jaguars?
something stupid, yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't warrant firing him. Like,
defensive-minded head coach, by the way, mind you.
Yeah, and I think the Chargers probably finished right around 500 this year, maybe even a little under. And I think that, they're going to miss the playoffs again, probably finish third in that division. I think Denver jumped them, and they're going to jump them remaining for the rest of the season. Brandon Staley, take your ass home because your ass does not belong on an NFL team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Maybe be a defensive coordinator somewhere, but that's about it. The other LA team, the team that they shared the building with, Sean McVay for the Rams, is he gone after this year?
I'm going to say no. I think that Sean McVay is still beloved as one of the top coaches, even though the Rams aren't doing good. McVay is definitely still looked upon, I feel like, as one of those. No, he's still a younger guy, and he's done a lot of good things. Like won that Super Bowl with the Rams. It's kind of like with Belichick's, man.
The F them pick Super Bowl.
Hmm?
The F them pick Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I mean, he's proven that he's worthy to be a good coach. It's not like Eberflus or Staley, who's been on the team and done jack shit. McVay's actually seen some results, even though they're struggling right now. I don't think he's going to get fired.
Yeah, no, look, I think this one's 50-50, man. I know that team wants to win. Their owner wants to win. And when you're not getting results, man, he's not afraid to fire you. And right now, McVay hasn't gotten results over the last 2 years now. So it's kind of just like, there's not a lot he can do. But, yeah, I think that's 50-50. To New York we go. The Giants, Brian Daboll. Is he gone after this year?
Man, this is tough because he hasn't looked too good this year. And it's crazy because did he win Coach of the Year last year?
I believe he did, yeah. Let me look into that.
He was either he won it or he was one of the few candidates for it because he took a. I mean, that's what was so crazy about the Giants because last year they overachieved, and this year they're just come back down to earth and they look awful.
Yeah, so he was Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah, so this is like going to be like the Dwayne Casey situation in NBA where wins Coach of the Year and he still gets fired. I mean, this year for sure isn't going to win Coach of the Year, but last year to this year, just the difference is insane. Again, another one where I could see it happening, but are they going to pull the trigger, man? I mean, who besides Harbaugh? What other big name coach? Because you got to have another coach in mind that is going to catch your eye here. There's been rumors of, Ben Johnson from the Lions possibly.
Yeah, I was just going to say Ben Johnson's, a huge name out there.
Are they finally going to give Eric Bieniemy a chance? He's been rumored to be a coach for a while now, and he still hasn't been given his chance. So do they have someone in mind? I mean, if the Giants have someone in mind, I could see them getting rid of Daboll. But if there's really no big name that's coming up, I don't see any reason to fire him. Again, I think it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, no, I think this is a 50-50 chance. I think it more leans towards he's probably going to stay another year at the very least. He's a good quarterback. It's not a quarterback. He's a good coach. It's just he's got no one to work with. He's got offensive linemen blocking John Cena. He's got Danny DeVito at quarterback or whatever the fuck. He's basically coaching the cast of the Jersey Shore at this point. I mean, it's fucking it's a clown car. But I think he's safe, but I don't know, man. There's I've heard some things that he could be on the hot seat, but I don't know how much is in there, but yeah. Coming down to these last two, we have Mike Vrabel of Tennessee.
Another one that I feel like he's pretty beloved by the fans, and the players like him. He's a very outspoken coach, but again, he's someone who he's not getting results. I could see him being fired, man. I think it's. I think another one. It's right on the border. But another one he's really liked, which is why I think that they might not fire him, because that's the worst in football or basketball or any sport where the fan base turns on you, man. There's no coming back from that. So I don't think the Titans have completely turned on Vrabel yet, but if he is not producing what they can be in making the playoffs, then they might give him the boot.
I think he might be gone. I mean, look, he's gotten the record's gotten worse each year for Tennessee now, and now they're not going to make the playoffs at all, and it's just it's. I know the fan base still really likes him, but man, when you're not getting results in this league, you're gonna get tossed to the curb, man. I think it's just a matter of time. If it's not this year, it's certainly next year if they don't improve at all or even get worse. And then lastly, we have Sean McDermott in Buffalo. Now, before you say anything, I'm just going to just give you my piece real quick. Look, I think it's run its course for Sean McDermott there. I really, really do. They've continuously gotten worse each year he's been there. The offense has not looked good the last year now. Maybe a little bit starting towards the end of last year, the offense doesn't look good. The defense is starting to fade as well. I think it's just ran its course. I think Buffalo just needs a new coach just to, see what can happen with a new coach, new set of staff, fresh eyes on the situation, and get Buffalo back to where they could be or should be with this roster.
Yeah, honestly, with this one, I think that McDermott should go, but I have seen people on talk shows be like, they're not going to fire McDermott, and it's like, I mean, that's a team that actually needs a change, because like a lot of these other coaches we talked about, they're in pretty bad situations right now where their team is just, I mean, you can only do so much as a coach, but this team, man, they have talent. They have one of the best quarterbacks and wide receivers, and they have potential all over the field. And McDermott is not seeing the results that he can be. They haven't had that big playoff moment. They've struggled against Kansas City and Cincinnati in the playoffs, and even this year they're losing close big games again. So I think it is time to move on from Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I absolutely. I think, like I said, they've gotten worse every single year. The last 3 years now, the record's gotten worse. The playoffs have not looked good at all. It's just a matter of time for him. Like I said with Vrabel, I think if it's not this year, it's certainly next year. But I think Buffalo, they have the roster to do it, but man, just the coaching has not been it this year. So yeah. That wraps up that NFL coaching blitz. So we're gonna get into real quickly the Army versus Navy game. It's the only college football game this weekend, so nothing really to note. Obviously, we'll actually preview bowl games starting on Tuesday's episode next week, just because I believe there are some Thursday games or even a Wednesday game next week. So we'll definitely have to get into that. But anyways, it'll be Navy as the home team and Army as the away team in this game. Army a 3-point favorite in this game. Look, Army and Navy both this year have not been good at all. They're both coming into this game 5-6. I think Army has a slight edge. Navy's tried to do this whole, start using passing a lot more, which goes against really both these schools. It's always been, throw 5 passes a game combined against each other, and then you have 9,000 rushing attempts between the teams. But I think Army has a slighter edge. I think their running game is a lot better. They have a really good run defense this year too. So I think Army could win this game over Navy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to pick Army here, man. I mean, shout out Tim, man. if he heard us picking Navy, man, would not be good. Can't go against the Army. So I'm definitely picking Army here.
Yeah, no, look, I think this could be a very good game. But this could also be a terrible, terrible game as well. Just because, I mean, it's always a fun game to watch, just because the rivalry between the two branches in this game, especially, is just really insane. It's one of the best college football games to watch, in my opinion, just because of the atmosphere of the game. But yeah, I gotta roll with Army. Shout out to our friend Tim. Um, but yeah, so that's the only college football we got to talk about. So now we're gonna get into that NBA in-season tournament. We have one of our finalists. The Pacers just beat the Bucks, so we're just waiting to see if it's gonna be fuck the Lakers or who are
The Pelicans.
the Pelicans.
Yeah. This is, we have been really harsh on the in-season tournament all year, and I do think it is justified. But there's also some things that I've kind of changed my mind on, especially not this game, but especially the last game that was played between the Pacers and the Celtics. It felt like a playoff game, man. Just the atmosphere and the way that they kind of did it. The players were getting hype. The crowd was really into it, and that's one thing that I do like is that these regular season games now are starting to feel more like playoff games, and having that hype atmosphere is really great. And there's a lot to unpack and how this can evolve moving forward here. The first, championship here, the first in-season tournament champions. I was hearing that this is going to start being made in cases for players when comparing players in the future. Like, well, this player's got 5 championships and 3 in-season tournament championships, and it's like that's going to be like that second measure of rewarding like players moving forward here. So the Pacers, I think it's going to be the Pacers and the Lakers. It's going to be interesting to see, and also one of the reasons that this is actually, I think, a little bit more hyped up is the Pacers players in the game were going crazy, and there was something that I read that was saying that their salary for their bench players is definitely one of the lower ones in the league. They're not getting paid as much. Some of these role players are getting paid like under $1 million a year, and still a lot of money, but compared to the rest of the NBA, they're at the bottom. And each player in this tournament gets $500,000. So, I mean, that's a lot for some of these role players who aren't getting a lot of playing time. That extra $500K, man.
Yeah, no, it's nice for all those bench warmers and the role players, the guys that you never see on the court ever. It's nice for them, but to me, I just it's such a gimmick, the in-season tournament. I know they're trying to generate interest during the regular season, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I really don't. I don't like it. I just it's not. It doesn't seem genuine to me, and I like. It's like you go back to now, like how you said, people are gonna say, they're gonna use this as a step, to comparing players, but you start using that as a step to start comparing players. You're gonna have to stop trying to compare them to guys who were playing, before this in-season tournament was a thing. So it's kind of just, to me, just it's a gimmick. Obviously, for one, it's a big marketing gimmick. They're trying to generate interest in the regular season, but to me, you could do away with it for me, man. Like the NHL talked about doing it because they just had a board of governors meeting yesterday. There's a lot to unpack there, but we'll unpack that in a different episode. But they discussed something about it or having one, but it doesn't seem like it's going to get a lot of traction there. But it just to me, man, I don't like this. But we do have, at least for what we have now. But the Pacers have looked good throughout it, and I'll admit, yeah, the Celtics Pacers game did feel like a championship atmosphere, playoff atmosphere. But just to me, man, I just don't see the point to this at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't much of a point. Like I said, I saw another report of people talking. It was like the Lakers with LeBron. It was like LeBron right now would take a one game series lead in the playoff series over this in season tournament. Like it's to come playoff times, it's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things. But like I said, I feel like there is some good to it. It's definitely going to be one that it's going to take a little bit to get used to, especially because this is the first season they're doing it. I mean, maybe because I do think that if it really starts getting negative attention over the next few years, that they could just can the idea altogether because that's what they're doing now for the All-Star game. What they did for the All-Star game was so it used to always be East versus West, and then they changed it to the teams having captains, and then the captains drafting the team, and people like that. And then now that's starting to kind of fade away, and people kind of want the traditional East versus West back again. So they're talking about bringing East versus West back again and doing away with having captains and All-Star voting to have these players pick the teams. So I could see it being reverted the if it doesn't really receive that well of traction with it, at least within the next 5 years.
Yeah, no, I think that's a possibility. I would like to see it East versus West again in that because that would be how it should be for basically all sports, and I mean that's how it is for every other sport. I mean, why not have it the NBA? I just think the captains thing is stupid. But it is what it is. I know they're trying to do different things, but at the end of the day, just stick with the classic stuff, man. Because a lot of these ideas aren't as great as they think they are. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for us. We'll be back Tuesday with reviews of the NFL. We're gonna mix in some NHL and some NBA. We'll discuss the rest of the NBA in-season tournament since it's gonna be over by Tuesday. We'll have a bit to talk about. We'll probably talk about that Board of Governors meeting that happened yesterday in the NHL and all what we could see in the future for the NFL, or not the NFL, the NHL. Including some potential NHL players being back in the Olympics talk, but we'll get into that more on Tuesday. So anyways, guys, rate, review, subscribe, help us out, you know the deal. Let us know what you want to hear more of, and thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys on Tuesday.